Welcome back, everyone, to the Marietta Ice Center between the Kennesaw State Fighting Owls and the Vanderbilt Commodores. It's game 2 of 2 here, Andrew. We had a barn burner last night. Bit of a blowout on Kennesaw State's side, but that was not to say that there was a lack of action in the game. Hello, Andrew. It's good to see you.
Hey, how you doing?
You're
Good
just
to be
kind
back.
of dozing off over there, buddy.
Well, I'm marveling at the ice right now.
I'll be right back, Andrew. Carry this one for me.
And yeah, like you said, Matt, KSU with a 5-0 rout over Vanderbilt last game after it got a little bit chippy there at the end. My voice is still recovering from calling that actual boxing match of last game. But Luke Thurston recording another shutout, but it's not very hard to get a shutout when your defense is so good that they just don't allow any ice time for Vanderbilt. Let's see if we can play the same way today as Aaron Tisdale comes out to take the opening face-off. Matt, what do you think about it? Matt has left me. It's just me right now. He is giving out our credentials to some fan who wants to listen, which is perfectly acceptable. As the ref gets ready to drop the puck for the opening face-off of the game, it is Aaron Tisdale in the circle, and Vanderbilt takes the opening face-off. Vanderbilt immediately chips it on back to KSU zone for the waiting stick of Gagne. Gagne to Davis. Davis up to Arnold. Drifts into the zone now. It's Tisdale, deking around a defender, taking it back to the corner. Tisdale fighting his way over, banks along the boards, goes just out of the zone where Davis will track it down. Davis on over to Gagne. Gagne up to Moran. Moran off the end of his stick and back into the Vanderbilt zone, where it's controlled by Wes Davis at neutral ice. Davis dumps it back in and chased down by Arnold and Moran as Moran goes over to the corner.
Apologies for the lack of camera movement there. I was helping some fans out to get the stream up and working for them.
I filled them in. And,
thanks, buddy.
Yeah, no problem. I'm looking out for you. Always looking out for you. For 19 years I've been looking out for you, Matt.
It's still 18. 18. Before you could walk, I was carrying your behind.
No, you weren't. You were 3.
I did not have the upper or lower body strength to carry a human infant.
No, you didn't. Spysinski throws a centering pass over, attempted for Bright, but it just sails wide of the stick, goes all the way back down to KSU zone where actual wanted man Josh Berezinski controls the ice.
Absolutely. He was getting in the heads of the Vanderbilt players last night for sure. Oh, my golly goodness. Did you see what just happened there, Andrew?
It went up into the bench.
Yeah, a puck was deflected up there into the bench by, I believe it was Spysinski, and it bounced actually off of the helmet of one of the Vanderbilt Commodore players. Luckily, he had his helmet on because no matter what bad blood is going on between these two teams, you don't want to see somebody take a really hard shot to the head like that.
Spysinski already headhunting early, as we see. Getting into the heads of them and throwing pucks at them, apparently, as Vanderbilt dumps it over to the KSU zone. Will be tracked down by Josh Berezinski for an icing.
And the name of the game, once again, this early in this first period, is going to be time of possession. Whoever can spend the most time in the offensive zone in this early stage of the game is going to have a distinct advantage, as was indicated by last game for sure, where Kennesaw State dominated in the first period in terms of time of possession.
Absolutely, and they carried it with them the entire game as Vanderbilt takes this face-off and throws it outside of the zone of neutral ice. Vanderbilt back in their own zone. Attempts to go forward within the KSU zone, but it bounces over a stick, and it is Bright that goes back to retrieve. Bright and Berezinski with the puck. Squirts on out to the wing, and a shot by Vanderbilt off the shoulder of Luke Thurston. Now Vanderbilt has the rebound in the corner. Another short angle shot off of the body of Luke Thurston, and now it is Bright taking this one up the ice. Bright throws it over to Barrett. Vanderbilt now has it in their own zone in the trapezoid, and it rounds the boards over to the stick of Bright. Bright, a wrist shot deflected off the pads of Conor, and now Musgrave tips it on over to Barrett behind the goal. Barrett attempts a centering pass, is stuffed at the attempt, and now he gets checked into the glass. A puck squirts out to center ice, and Musgrave cannot get a handle on it, and it is controlled by Vanderbilt once again. Vanderbilt trying to get it out of their own zone, and they finally do, despite the protest from Bright. And now Berezinski comes back in and throws this right back into the zone. And we have an offsides.
Yes, indeed. I believe I saw that one happen in real time, Andrew. I believe
Matt Leonard, graphics package expert, camera wizard, computer guy, and spotter.
Hey there, it's me.
17:33 on the clock, and Ian McDonald comes in to take this face-off. McDonald wins it cleanly, gives it on to Gagne. Gagne to Testino. Testino, a centering pass for Davis, and a wrist shot goes off of the skate of Conor. A good opportunity early from Testino. A turnover goes to McDonald. McDonald, a shot on goal off the stick of Conor, and he must freeze that one before any rebounds can happen. And an early turnover almost leads to an early goal for KSU.
Absolutely. Applying that pressure early on in this game. Less than 3 minutes have elapsed, but Kennesaw State already getting some quality chances off of turnovers.
McDonald wins the faceoff through the referee's skates, and now Davis throws it back over to Gagne. Gagne attempted slap shot off the stick of a Commodore, and now it has Testino that backhands to the corner, but it's intercepted before it gets to McDonald. Puck kicked on back into the zone by Gagne. Gagne stands a man up at the blue line, and now Vanderbilt on the attack. Vanderbilt back in the KSU zone, goes along on the left wing, and a short angle shot is turned aside by the blocker of Thurston. Puck in the corner. It goes high to Vanderbilt, and a slap shot goes wide left of the cage, and now it's controlled behind Thurston by Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt in the corner. Turns it over to Ian McDonald, who wraps it on over to Wes Davis, who spins it back around to Testino. Testino back taps it out. A nice move there by McDonald as he makes the push-up ice. McDonald, a centering pass for Vanderkirkhoff, back taps Testino, and a shot turned aside by Campbell Conor. And now it goes to the corner for Testino.
Another fantastic shot off of some good puck movement from Kennesaw State, dropping back by Vanderkirkhoff off to John Testino, who had a better look at the goal there, just couldn't put it home.
That was a great look by Vanderkirkhoff. It was a wrist shot from the point, goes into the catching glove of Conor from Wes Davis.
And we'll have another offensive zone faceoff here for Kennesaw State. They have not dominated in terms of just pure possession time as much as they had in the early stages of last game, but they have gotten a fair amount of quality chances. But Vanderbilt looking to put the kibosh on that as soon as possible. And the puck is fired up out of play.
An immediate slap shot gets turned to the ceiling and hits the steel beam in the roof, making a nice little sound, as now Tisdale takes the faceoff.
Yeah, that was a cool noise.
Tisdale wins it. A rough face-off and a shot turned wide by a stick, and a point-blank rebound attempt by Moran is stuffed by Conor. A good check there by Moran, sends a man to the glass, and now Arnold comes in. An errant pass goes to the stick of Bright, and now Moran tries to tip it back in, and a Vanderbilt Commodore loses his stick. Turnover in neutral ice by Berezinski, and he dumps it back in to Vanderbilt's zone. Vanderbilt in the corner, attempted pass is knocked away by Moran, and a good check there by Aaron Tisdale. Who else would it be? Vanderbilt back in their own zone, contested by Arnold. Trying to desperately to find an angle on this KSU defense as it's overskated there by a Commodore and thrown to the stick of Berezinski at neutral ice. Berezinski off the glass to himself, chips it up there to Hayes. Hayes takes a check from two men and stays on his feet. Vanderbilt in the corner. Banked it high off the glass, caught in the midst by Berezinski, and a slap shot off the skates of a Commodore. Puck leaks out to the center ice for Berezinski, and now he has it at the red line. Berezinski throws it immediately back into the Commodore zone, and Vanderbilt still tries to attack him. Gagne back in the KSU trapezoid. Looking for an angle here. Throws it gently on over to Berezinski, who starts to push up ice. Attempted for Hayes, just out of the reach of his stick as it's raced on back by Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt throws it high off the glass there, Bright in to contest it, and it's controlled by Davis. Davis back taps to Gagne. Gagne, a hard wrist shot is caught in the chest of Campbell Conor.
I'll tell you what, Andrew, if there's one thing Campbell Conor is going to try not to do tonight, it's let up one of those early goals that took the wind out of the Commodore's sails early.
Or two goals from Tristan Gagne.
Or two goals from Tristan Gagne, either of those things. However, that being said, the momentum seemed to be a big factor in this game, in the last night's game, just in terms of overall swagger and mental state of each team.
Indeed, as Vanderbilt wins this face-off, but it's turned over into the stick of Musgrave. Musgrave throws it on back into the Vanderbilt zone, and it's controlled by the Commodores. Vanderbilt. An errant pass there ends up on the blue line, almost controlled by Gagne, but skated on back by Vanderbilt, who has a neutral ice. Off the shin of Gagne, the Commodores still with control of the puck, dump it lazily back into KSU zone, where Davis will have it in the far right corner. Davis backhands it alone to Gagne in the trapezoid. Gagne off the glass, up for Musgrave, just a bit too far, as that will be an icing.
And that was coming all the way back into the offensive zone for the Vanderbilt Commodores. Time to see if they can get a little bit of offense going for themselves, because they haven't been able to thus far.
13:55 left to go in the first period. Score still 0-0 KSU, with a couple good attempts to get that early first goal like they did last game. But we cannot break the goaltending of Conor just yet.
Not just yet.
Barrett in on the face-off. Vanderbilt takes this one, and it goes back behind Luke Thurston for the control of Davis. Davis on over to Gagne. Gagne, a long pass up to Butler overskated just a bit as it bounces on the red line as it gives it back to Musgrave. Musgrave tries to deke it into the zone, but it's thrown back into the KSU zone by Vanderbilt. Puck goes all the way back to the trapezoid for Wes Davis to control as he starts the push up the right side circle. Musgrave taking it over the neutral ice himself, as that will be an offsides.
Just barely offsides on that play, but Vanderbilt looked like it had some defensemen back, so I doubt it would have resulted in a whole heck of a lot.
And with our goal scoring ability, you never know. We got some weapons on the ice.
We absolutely do, at all times.
Ian McDonald in to take this face-off. Vanderbilt takes this one as Testino tries to fight for it, and it goes off the glass to Berezinski. Berezinski back to Jeremy Vandekerkhoff, who takes it the entire length of his zone and spins back around to make a play. Vandekerkhoff showing some speed, crosses neutral ice, brings it on into the zone, and we have another offsides.
My goodness, I believe that one was Testino just jumping the gun a tiny little bit. Vanderbilt's been holding that blue line pretty darn well, forcing an awful lot of offsides here.
That's four.
Early
That's four
in
right
this
now.
game. Yeah, that is something that Kennesaw State is going to have to fix in a hurry.
But Kennesaw does have the energy they're showing to get across the blue line, so I'm liking that.
Oh, absolutely.
Puck dumped in by KSU, and now it's played along the boards there by McDonald. McDonald loses control of Vanderbilt as they throw it off the boards to one of their own players, and a nice check there by Testino as the puck goes to Berezinski. Berezinski fires it on back into the Vanderbilt zone behind the goaltender, and now they control behind Konur. Vanderbilt, waiting in the corner, contested by Vandekerkhoff, and a lob pass up through neutral ice is controlled by Vanderbilt in the KSU zone. Knocked off the puck there was Bright, and now Bright skates up the ice. Over neutral ice, shrugs off a check there as Bright, and still has enough energy to fire down back in, and some scrum right in front of us, and we have a penalty. It looks like that will be on Kimber or Bright, one of those two.
I believe it was Kimber. Yes.
Early power play for KSU, a little bit of roughing going on, some of that energy carrying over from last night. With 12:27 left to go in the first period, KSU will have a fresh 2 minutes on the power play.
Andrew, if this game is anything like it was last night, there is going to be no shortage of extracurricular activity, let me tell you.
Spycinski coming in to take this face-off. Wins it cleanly, back taps it to Berezinski, who gives it over to Gagne. Gagne loses control for a second as he throws it to the corner for Spycinski. Spycinski behind the goaltender, back to the wing for Testino, who throws it on back to the point for Gagne. Gagne to Testino. Testino puts a wrist shot on goal off the pads. A rebound attempt by Spycinski is turned aside, as now Spycinski has it in the corner. Spycinski to Berezinski. Back over to Gagne. Gagne waiting patiently. Throws it over to Testino in the wing. Testino, a pass in front for Tisdale. Carries it on back out to Gagne. Gagne, a slap shot from the point off the skates of a Vanderbilt Commodore. And now Berezinski comes up with it on the right side point. Berezinski, a backhanded pass to Testino. Loses control, but still tries to get over to Spycinski, and he does. Spycinski out to the point for Berezinski. A lot of skis out there, Matt.
You are not kidding.
1:10 to go on the power play as Spycinski loses control in the corner, and it's thrown to the opposite side of the boards for Gagne. Gagne back to Spycinski behind the net. Spycinski off the cage to himself. Back taps it out to Berezinski on the right side point. Berezinski lobs it on over to Testino. Testino, a move in the middle of the ice, and it gets taken to Gagne. Gagne, a hard wrist shot from the point, is stopped by the chest of Konur, and he lays on top of that to freeze it for another face-off.
Absolutely, and some quality chances here with 48 seconds remaining in this Kennesaw State power play, but nothing been able to fall just yet. Keep the volume up, and the goals will come, Andrew. They will eventually.
Yes, they will, with, like you said, 48 seconds to go on the man advantage, 11:10 left to go in the period, as a turnover there by KSU leads to Vandekerkhoff retreating for the puck. Vandekerkhoff gets ridden all the way back into his own zone and gives it on up to Arnold. Arnold gives it on over to Vandekerkhoff, and Vandekerkhoff with speed carries over the blue line onside. McDonald over to Davis. Davis, a slap shot off the skate of Konur. A rebound attempt there by Arnold. Looked like off the blocker of Campbell Konur. Vandekerkhoff, a wrist shot looking for a deflection, and he does get it, but it's stopped in the 5-hole of Campbell Konur once again.
Oh, my goodness.
Good attempts
Very
from
good
Kennesaw
attempts.
State.
Absolutely. If they can get more of those rebound opportunities like they were last night, that is going to be the key to putting one in the back of the net.
Absolutely. With 12 seconds left to go on the man advantage, 10:35 left to go in the period, as now McDonald has it behind the cage. Over to the corner for Arnold. Arnold back to McDonald. Bright checking in front of the net, trying to get a position, as now Vandekerkhoff has it, and a shot high right off the glass, And now it's back to Davis.
Let me tell you, Vanderkerkhoff.
And a pass in front may have been knocked off a Vanderbilt Commodore. It was either that or Bright. Either way, that came from McDonald. It looks like they are going to give the goal to McDonald. Puts it off of a piece of equipment off of a Vanderbilt Commodore and ends up in the back of the net.
Andrew, I believe he fired that one off of the back of the goaltender.
That is awareness.
But let me tell you, no matter how you slice it, that's a 1-0 lead for the Kennesaw State Fighting Owls. It took them a little longer than last game to get this first goal, but now that they do, the floodgates can open.
Absolutely, and that's only 1 goal compared to the 5 goals for last game. Let's see if KSU can put some more volume on the board. 10-10 left to go in the period. KSU up 1-0 as the power play expires. And now it's thrown back to Bright. Bright throws it on over to Berezinski. Back in his own circle. Off the glass to Butler, just a bit too far. Vanderbilt retreats to their own zone. Thrown off with a stick of Butler and back tapped all the way to the KSU zone for Bright. 9:50 left to go, Matt. And I got to say, using your surroundings, and by surroundings I mean the goaltender's backside to score a goal for Ian McDonald. Pretty heads-up play by Ian McDonald right there.
I'll take that one any darn day of the week, let me tell you. And it's going to leave a nice little bruise, a nice little reminder.
That's what a love tap is. Now Berezinski has it in neutral ice and tries to throw it back into the zone, but it's controlled by Vanderbilt, but not before it goes to the stick of Butler. Knocked back into the zone. It's chased down by Barrett, but not before Vanderbilt can get there first. Ref has to move out of the way of the puck as Berezinski goes back to play some defense, and now Butler again throws it back into the Vanderbilt zone. KSU just allowing Vanderbilt no time to play any offense whatsoever. Same story as last night. 9:05 left to go in the period. Vanderbilt controls off of the pads of Vanderkerkhoff as he controls for a spot in the zone. Vanderbilt comes up with it, overskates it back to Vanderkerkhoff, who dumps it on back to Berezinski. Off the glass now to Barrett. Squirts all the way back over to Butler, and now Butler throws it into the zone again. Vanderbilt with control over the blue line steadily. Gives it on up into the corner of KSU zone where Gagne will be the first man back. Gagne with control. Throws it up to Testino. Cannot get a handle on it as it goes off the glass back into Vanderbilt's control. A centering pass attempt is stopped by Berezinski before it can be completed. And now off the knee pad of Vanderkerkhoff. Here he goes up the ice. Jeremy Vanderkerkhoff, a wrist shot off the elbow of Campbell Conor. A good opportunity there for Jeremy Vanderkerkhoff.
And I'll tell you what, not many people can place the puck like Jeremy Vanderkerkhoff. So if anybody was going to be able to get it by Conor there, it would have been him. Just contested just a smidgen too much for that to be an easy goal.
He had to split 2 defenders to move up ice that quickly.
Absolutely. And he is not slow.
As now the puck goes all the way back to the stick of Thurston, who lets it go over to Wes Davis. Captain Wes Davis now with control of the puck. Moves over KSU's blue line in a neutral ice, stops on a dime to let a change happen. And now gives it on over into the Vanderbilt zone. Ian McDonald chasing it down. Puck goes all the way up, stayed in play by Gagne, who gives it on over to Arnold. Arnold, a wrist shot off the blocker of Conor. Isaiah Arnold looking to get on the board as well.
And once again, as soon as that first goal tends to come in, we get plenty and plenty of more fantastic opportunities for either team.
With 7:41 left to go in the period.
Yes,
KSU
indeed.
trying to extend this lead too, Matt.
I would be very much on board with that.
Face off one, and now Aaron Tisdale has control in the left side corner. Shrugging off a man as he throws it on over. Tries to keep it in, but it just squirts out behind the zone, and now it is controlled by Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt with a rolling puck all the way into KSU zone where it's tracked down by Davis, who plays with it behind Thurston. Davis up to Moran. Moran looking for Arnold streaking up the ice, but it's controlled by Vanderbilt before it can be collected. Gagne, off the nice little assist there from Thurston, has it behind the cage. Gagne lofts the puck in the air. It's gloved down before it can be cleared by Vanderbilt. Puck goes all the way back into the corner for Wes Davis to control as he throws it up to Moran. Moran, a long pass up the ice to the stick of Arnold. That one is connected as now Arnold makes a move up ice. A pass in front for Moran, just a bit too far, and now Moran scoots it on over to the opposite side corner. Tisdale with a check into the corner, and they will call that one boarding. As here we go, Matt. We got some electricity already in the first period.
I don't know about maybe. I don't know. I don't know about boarding just yet, but you know.
And of course it was Tisdale. That's his job out there is to hit.
I don't know. I wouldn't call that one boarding.
Yeah, they're probably just a little sore from last night.
I mean, I would be. Good Lord.
It's a flop. I don't know if it was a flop.
I don't think it was a
A
flop.
hit from Tisdale.
I think he got a 100%
I don't think
hit.
you can flop a hit from Tisdale.
Well, regardless of what you call it, that's a fresh 2 minutes for the Vanderbilt Commodores with a man advantage with 6:48 remaining in this here period.
They may have a man advantage, but we still have the score advantage as Ian McDonald comes in and takes this face off. McDonald loses it to Vanderbilt, but it still goes outside of the zone where Vanderbilt must retreat. Vanderbilt now at neutral ice, trying to find an angle to crack this KSU defense. Vanderbilt now on the left side point. Hayes to contest, and it goes to the right side. A shot on goal is stopped by Luke Thurston easily.
Every stop by Luke Thurston has looked like an easy stop.
Well, that's just his style of play.
It's delightful.
Just making it look easy for everybody until you go and try it.
Yeah, and then you realize that he's elite.
6:28 left to go in the period as the puck is cleared by KSU off of the faceoff with 1:35 left to go on the power play.
Kennesaw State penalty kill by necessity thus far this season has been fantastic, and hopefully that trend will continue here tonight.
Well, so far it's looking good as KSU
Oh my
immediately gets another clear, and now it goes all the way over where Hayes will chase this one down. Hayes with a good piece of stick work there, and it's controlled by Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt with 1:10 left to go on the power play. Puck goes all the way over to the left side corner, and it's back tapped on over to the point. Hayes gets control, throws over to possession to McDonald. Here comes McDonald. McDonald on the attack while a man down goes into the corner to kill some more time.
Oh, my goodness.
McDonald shrugs off 4 men there, and he back taps it over all the way to Berezinski, who will go down to his own zone to kill even more time.
How does he do it? Ian McDonald is incredible with the stick handle.
Turnover in KSU zone is saved by Jeremy Vanderkerkhoff. That could have been bad as the puck is thrown all the way up off the glass back into Vanderbilt zone.
Wow.
40 seconds left to go on the power play now, and Matt, you're right. McDonald is fantastic at stick handling.
And a great piece of penalty killing here for Kennesaw State, not even allowing Vanderbilt to have a whole lot of time in the offensive zone.
Even while a man up.
Oh, yes.
Puck goes all the way back down in front of Thurston, who taps it along behind the cage, and now Berezinski's digging for it. Berezinski gets knocked to the ice, and now requests help from Vanderkerkhoff, who gives it to him. Vanderkerkhoff off of the Commodore, and now 10 seconds left to go on the power play. Vanderbilt desperately trying to find an angle on this defense. 5 seconds to go. A shot through the mouth of the net into the other side of the ice. Power play expires. Back to full strength hockey with 4:45 left to go in the first period, as now Hayes comes off the bench. Checked there by Hayes. A shot goes off the stick of Moran and back into control of Bright.
And Hayes, and I believe that's, is that Bieber over there, number 15?
Elner.
Oh, Elner.
Excuse me, Matt, but a pass up to Vanderkerkhoff into his own zone. A nice little move there off the skates of a Vanderbilt Commodore. Another good move by Vanderkerkhoff.
Absolutely. But anyway, I was saying a little extracurricular was happening away from the puck between Hayes and I think,
Elner.
that is Elner.
And another hit there. That time it's by
Spicinski.
Spicinski.
Ooh,
And we have
big
more electricity
cross-check
now
comes in.
as Bright comes to the defense of Spicinski. And it looks like that will be another penalty.
Absolutely. That better be on Vanderbilt because he cross-checked him right. He cross-checked Spicinski right across the back. And yes, indeed, it looks like it will be a fresh 2 minutes for Kennesaw State on that dirty late hit from Vanderbilt.
And there he wait, are they sending him to? Are they putting him a timeout? Yep, it's Elner. They're pointing to the box saying, "Get in there, buddy. What are you still doing out here? That's a penalty."
Yeah, nice try arguing that one, friend.
And now he sits down on those cold, uncomfortable wooden benches in the penalty box.
What if they're actually like super nice?
Matt, they don't get padded seats in the penalty box. It's a penalty box.
That's
It's,
what I
it's
know,
pretty much a
but
timeout.
we've never been in the penalty box. How would we know? What if there's like a TV and snacks?
Why would then I'd try to get into the penalty box.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe that's why they do it.
Fresh 2 minutes on the power play for KSU with 4:04 time not found on the clock in the first period. And now Ian McDonald wins this face-off.
Nice one, Andrew.
Thank you. I'm also a nerd. As now, Vanderbilt controls behind the cage as Bright comes in to say otherwise. Bright to McDonald. McDonald back to Bright, who throws it off the back of the cage, intended for McDonald, but it goes all the way up to the circle. Davis with possession. Throws it. Doesn't pass it. Backtracks it himself. Looking for an angle. Gives it on over to Vanderkerkhoff, who keeps it in the zone. Vanderkerkhoff moving up ice. A wrist shot off the pipe. Jeremy Vanderkerkhoff with another beautiful opportunity. This time is robbed by the right post. As now it's a foot race between Vanderkerkhoff and one of the Vanderbilt Commodores, which Vanderkerkhoff wins.
I will tell you what, Andrew. If there's a foot race between Kennesaw State And any other team that we've seen thus far for the puck, it seems like Kennesaw State has the foot speed to get it done.
By several players. And now the puck is lobbed all the way back to KSU zone with 1:04 left to go on the penalty. 3:03 left to go in the game, the first period, and now it's twisted on back along the boards for Spysinski. Spysinski overskates it, but gives it on to Tisdale. Tisdale making a move, and it goes all the way back to McDonald. Spysinski getting tangled up with a Commodore, and it goes back to Vanderkerkhoff, attempted for McDonald, but is robbed before it can get to his stick. 2:45 left to go in the first period. 40 seconds remain on the power play as Thurston comes out of his net to play the puck over to Davis. Davis across ice, tipped by Testino, and back to his stick. Testino, dump and chase to himself through the referee's skates, and now he's behind the cage. Testino spins away from a defender, a shot, point blank, rebound by Tisdale. Goes just wide of the net, and now Tisdale has it, left side corner, a wrist shot in front, popped up by Conor, and now back to the right side corner with 15 seconds to go on the man advantage. Spysinski drops the man to the ice off of a check, and now Tisdale comes in to lend a hand. Spysinski and Tisdale, the two more physical players on KSU, digging for the puck now. Tisdale shrugs off another check, controlled by Vanderbilt as this penalty expires, so back to full-strength hockey. 2 minutes flat left to go as Testino and Tisdale dig for this puck in the left side corner. Testino emerges. A wrist shot from an off angle gets stopped by the skate of Conor and kept in play by Gagne. Gagne tries it again, but this time it goes just over the blue line and must throw it back into Vanderbilt's zone.
I'll tell you what, Gagne is a big guy, and that long arm and stick combination from Tristan Gagne stopped a clear breakaway for the Vanderbilt Commodores there. They would have had a very good opportunity to score there.
And speaking of Gagne, he just gave a little extra something to, looks like his last name is pronounced Bieber, on the Vanderbilt bench.
Nice, Bieber.
Just saying, hey, I don't like your music. Here's my glove.
Stupid.
Offensive zone face-off for KSU as the puck went out of play, and it's Matt Butler taking this one. 1:45 on the first period clock, and Butler won this one with his skates. Berezynski, a slap shot off the stick of Conor, and it's thrown along the boards now by Vanderbilt, and an off-angle bounce leads back to the KSU zone for Bright.
Absolutely, and Berezynski sent that one through traffic. It was a good opportunity, that one, to go in, because the visibility was no bueno for the goaltender there.
Sometimes you just got to get pucks deep, Matt.
Got to get pucks deep.
Got to get pucks deep. As now it's controlled by Vanderbilt in KSU zone. Nice little move there is stuffed before it can be put a shot on goal. And now Butler throws this one across the glass and off the body of Musgrave. Musgrave boxing out, gets shoved to the glass and to the ice. As now it goes back to KSU's corner. Berezynski behind Thurston. A minute flat to go in this period. As it's thrown up the center of the ice, and an open ice check there on the Butler.
And a penalty will be assessed for that one, Andrew.
And another 2 minutes. And now Butler has some words. Oh, no, that wasn't on Butler. That was on Barnett the hit was on.
Oh, really? But
Yeah.
a penalty on Kennesaw State.
Why is the penalty on Barnett?
Interesting.
He got hit.
Oh, opposing penalties, it seems.
Okay. For going out. So one for the hit, the other for the retaliation.
As per the usual.
Okay, so we're going to have a 2 minute stretch of 4-on-4 hockey, but only 51 seconds left to go in the first period, so this will carry over into the second.
I'll tell you what, right back at home for Kennesaw State is this 4-on-4 penalty, or this 4-on-4 play. But there are 5 men on the ice for Vanderbilt, so
Does that make sense?
they can't count.
Hey, Elner, get off the ice, bud. There we go. Now we're 4-on-4.
4-on-4 even strength hockey.
Sean Bean not looking too pleased over there behind his team's bench.
So stupid.
KSU wins the face-off. Vanderkerkhoff has it on the high point. He tries to stick handle around a Commodore, and we have a 2-on-1 breakaway for Vanderbilt. Gagne is the only man back. Blocks a shot before it can be released as Tristan Gagne laying out on the ice. Great piece of defensive work there by Tristan Gagne.
Absolutely beautiful play there from Tristan Gagne to disrupt that 2-on-1 opportunity for Vanderbilt. That would have been one of their best opportunities of the night.
Absolutely, as Vanderkerkhoff, with 25 seconds to go, tries a wraparound, but keeps it himself and throws it to the point for Gagne. Gagne, a long wrist shot deflection by Davis, is kicked out by Conor, and now Vanderkerkhoff has it. 13 seconds to go in the period as it's thrown back over to Vanderkerkhoff, who dips it on over to Davis. Davis, a wrist shot goes just wide right, controlled by Vanderkerkhoff. 5 seconds to go. Behind the net is McDonald. McDonald to Vanderkerkhoff. A pass attempted for Davis is tipped, and nothing can be done as time expires in the first period.
Ooh, and some more extracurricular activity. Would you expect anything else, my man?
This time it's Jeremy Vanderkerkhoff having some words.
This one is chippy from the get-go.
And if it's anything like last night, we're going to have quite a pile up in the third period.
You are not kidding. So that concludes the first period of play here at the Marietta Ice Center between your Kennesaw State Fighting Owls and the Vanderbilt Commodores. It's going to be electric, Andrew. But before we send you guys off to intermission, we have a special little segment we'd like to play for you guys. We caught up with Tristan Gagne after last night's absolute demolition and asked him a couple of questions about what he thought about that game. Check that one out right now. Welcome back, everyone, to the Marietta Ice Center. Matt Leonard here with the Super Gamecast brothers here with the one, the only, Tristan Gagne. Welcome, my man. So we just finished up with quite possibly the craziest game of the entire season, at least that we've seen. That was the first game of two between Kennesaw State Fighting Owls and Vanderbilt Commodores, I think. Are they I don't know. Yeah. Condor, they're birds? They're birds, okay. And so, got a lot to unpack here. First of all, 2 goals, congratulations. But everybody's got to be wondering about that scrum on the near side of the ice. Can you take us through what kicked that whole thing off and what led tensions to sort of increase from there?
So basically their guy went ahead and their goalie took a hack at Spy. So Spy turned around, went back at him. And like when he's on your own team, you don't go after the goalie. So Spy had 3 guys on him. Mitchell Bright hops in there. They're outnumbered. I hop in there. I grab my guy. I'm like, all right, man, we're good until you do something. And he jumps on him. So then everything starts off. Everyone's throwing suckers down there. But I think at the end of the day, we came out on top.
Oh, I completely agree. That was evident by you guys just pulling everybody off of the pile. That was fantastic to watch. Another thing we definitely noticed in this game was that Josh Berezinski seemed to be giving them just absolute aneurysms, just really annoying them and kicking them off and putting them in a bad mental state, shall we say. Can you elaborate as to what he was doing down there to cause so much havoc?
So Josh is real good at just kind of throwing little chirps at guys, tapping his stick at guys when they get a penalty, because that's the kind of stuff when you get a penalty, you're already mad, you're already pissed off, and then you have someone in your face, you get even more mad. So Josh is real good at just being a pest out there and pissing guys off, to be honest with you.
Absolutely, and they didn't know what to do. By the end of the third period, it was absolute chaos on their team, and they couldn't hold it together, clearly by the late goal from Berezinski, right? So now we got to end this with a stupid question, as we usually do. I don't know. I'm out of stupid questions. All right. To finish off this interview, the burning question everybody wants to know. Salsa, queso, or guacamole?
Queso all the way.
Queso all the way? Why?
Big cheese guy. Love the cheese, yeah. I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of salsa. It tastes like you're eating grass. And then guac, I'm just not a big guac guy.
All right. I agree with the guacamole. I'm not a big fan. Queso and salsa, they fight neck and neck depending on whose queso it is, right? So you can't have bad queso because then it's like cold.
Chipotle's queso is awful. So
yes, I agree.
Chipotle's queso. But when it comes to like Moe's, queso all the way. 100%.
Absolutely. Have you been to the Tin Lizzy's near campus? Yeah, their queso, fantastic.
Completely agree, yep. I usually get the hot mess. It's like tater tots doused in queso and coleslaw and all that stuff. Pulled pork, barbecue. So good, man.
It's fantastic. All right. Well, thank you for taking the time after this game, my man. I appreciate it. Tristan Gagne, everybody. We'll be back for the second game, if that hasn't already happened by the time this is edited. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back whenever we see you again. Thank you very much. Welcome back, one. Welcome back, all, to the Marietta Ice Center for the second period of action here between the Kennesaw State Fighting Owls and the Vanderbilt Commodores. The lead not nearly as comfortable as it was yesterday, Andrew, but there is a lead for Kennesaw nonetheless.
Absolutely. We have a latecomer to the show is Kimber, who forgot his place in the box.
You're not allowed to be late, buddy.
And there he goes.
Buster.
And now, remember, we have 1:09 of 4-on-4 hockey left in this fresh second period. And now Tisdale wins this face-off and dumps it back into the Vanderbilt zone. Vanderbilt with control behind their goaltender. Backhands it to absolutely nobody, overskates it, and then Tisdale will take this one. Tisdale rips a stick out of a Vanderbilt player's hand and then rides a man into the glass. Wait, that's not Tisdale. That is not on my roster is who that is. No, that's Arnold. I saw an 8 and not a 1. My fault. As now Gagne has it back in his own zone. Tisdale to Gagne. Gagne tries to kick it to himself, just a bit too far, and it's controlled center ice. And knocked off the puck there. Was there in Tisdale. Gagne tries to throw it on over, and this puck looks like it's stopping rather quickly, as now it's backhanded across the ice to Gagne. Gagne in the corner.
It's one of those Goodyear pucks, Andrew, from those
Yeah,
commercials.
you saw the commercial. 12 seconds left to go on 4-on-4 hockey, and a shot from long range away is turned aside by Conor and controlled by Gagne at center ice. Gagne slaps it on back into the zone, and now with 3 seconds left, this 4-on-4 period is about to expire, and we are back to full-strength hockey as Hayes comes off the bench. 18:45 left to go in the second, as now it's Davis, and deep in his own zone of the trapezoid, moves along behind Thurston, and keeps throwing it up to himself. Tell you, that area of the ice right inside of KSU's blue line, it looks like the puck is stopping extremely quickly.
Interesting. We'll have to monitor that situation as it develops.
Yes, and now it's thrown along around the boards for Bright. And he throws it back over to Hayes. Hayes, a centering pass in front for Spysinski, is turned aside by Conor, and a shot attempt by Bright hits a stick and goes nowhere. A long-range shot by Bright goes to the corner for Spysinski, and now Spysinski controls and wraps around the boards, attempted for Bright. Vanderbilt gets there first, but not before Bright contests it and keeps it in the zone, but Vanderbilt ends up with possession. Vanderbilt moving up ice. A wrist shot punched away by Thurston into the breadbasket of Bright, and then stick to the corner by Luke Thurston. Spysinski and can't clear it and knocks a man down to the ice over top of the blue line, and it's Hayes with the puck.
If there's one thing Spysinski's going to do, it's going to be keep laying those hits, keep the pressure up, keep the mentality of Vanderbilt defeated and angry.
Vanderbilt goes inside. A shot attempt in front is stuffed by Luke Thurston as it's thrown back out into Vanderbilt's zone.
Whew, that was a close one.
17:25 in the period, and the puck goes all the way back down the KSU zone for Berezinski, who slaps it on back around to Testino. Testino to Bright. Controlled by Vanderbilt in KSU zone. A wrist shot is turned aside by a skate, and the puck stops on a dime before it hits the corner.
I'll tell you what, Andrew. Oh, actually, I'll tell you what. Vanderbilt it looks like they made some intermission adjustments because they have been right all over this offensive possession.
Absolutely. If only they could have made those adjustments last game as it's thrown into the zone by Testino.
Or if only they could score a goal.
McDonald now in the corner for KSU. Ian McDonald plays with it at the circle. Throws it along behind the goal for Testino, who rips it up to Davis, but just goes over his stick and back to neutral ice for Gagne. Gagne around the boards, attempted for Vanderkerkhoff, and it's controlled by Jeremy Vanderkerkhoff, but in a scrum with two Vanderbilt players. McDonald behind the cage, a centering pass almost tipped up and in by Testino, but just a bit wide as now McDonald has it in the corner. McDonald out to the point for Gagne, back to McDonald. A centering pass in front for Vanderkerkhoff goes between his legs, and now it is tapped back out to neutral ice, where KSU will gather. 16:12 left to go in the second period as Davis moves this puck in. A pass in front to Gagne, a wrist shot off the stick of a Vanderbilt Commodore, and now it is McDonald at the point. McDonald, attempted pass to Vanderkerkhoff, is intercepted, and now Vanderbilt will slap this one all the way down the KSU zone for Gagne. Full man change for Vanderbilt. It looks like everyone got off the bench there, and we have an icing.
Wow, everybody and their mother was coming off of the bench there for Vanderbilt. That was hilarious.
How's it not too many men? Vanderbilt had their entire team on the ice.
I don't think that's how too many men works, but
Boy, still,
could
when you
be.
got 10 guys on the ice, I'm going to call it no matter what the rule is.
Nice. Well done.
McDonald coming in for this faceoff. 15:52 left to go in the second period, and it's thrown up into the glove of Luke Thurston.
Caught that one nice and easily. Just like, thank you very much. I will be taking such things.
Nice little softball. KSU lining up for a defensive zone face-off now as Aaron Tisdale comes in to take this one. Puck drops, and it's won by Tisdale, but Vanderbilt is the first one to it. And we have a tripping penalty on Aaron Tisdale.
I don't know. Then again, he could literally rip somebody's arm off, and I'm like, I don't know. That was,
benefit of the doubt.
yeah.
So Vanderbilt will have a fresh 2 minutes on the power play with 15:45 left to go in the second. KSU still with the goal lead. Moran comes in for this face-off, and it's won by Vanderbilt as they control on the left side point. Vanderbilt playing catch now at the high point. Back to the wing. Vanderbilt down to the corner. The puck stops on a dime again. Some bad ice over there as a man is leveled to the boards by Tristan Gagne. A slap shot from the point off the pads of Thurston, who gets back just in time to prevent a rebound and freezes the puck. 15:26 left to go in the second period. 1:41 on the clock for the power play. And an early shot attempt there by Vanderbilt. That's more shot attempts than they had the entire third period of last game. Drew Spicinski comes in fresh off the bench to take this face-off. And wins it over to the stick of Davis, who blasts it around the boards and it is controlled by Max Hayes as he rushes up the ice in a breakaway. Hayes a shot on goal just wide of the cage. And now Vanderbilt will have it. Max Hayes looking for a shorthanded opportunity of his own. And now Vanderbilt will control on their own trapezoid. Vanderbilt starting to push up ice. Across into KSU territory. Dances around Tristan Gagne, and now Davis in the corner. Hayes comes in to lend a hand, but cannot clear it as Vanderbilt still has possession. And a long shot is put up into the body of Thurston, and Thurston just sits on the puck and freezes it. Vanderbilt just looking a bit more aggressive now in the power play.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, hi.
You know what? I was helping the whole upstairs out here.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was.
Arnold comes in for this face-off. An early shot by Vanderbilt. And a rebound attempt stopped by the glove of Thurston. As now Berezinski blasted around the boards. And now Arnold ends up clearing it.
Thurston was watching that one like a hawk, Andrew.
And yet playing better than the entire Atlanta Hawks team.
Ouch.
Speaking of Hawks, as now Bright has it and dumps it back into Vanderbilt's zone to kill some more time. 35 seconds to go on the penalty, 14:20 to go in the second period, as now Vanderbilt's playing catch in the trapezoid. Vanderbilt across the blue line into neutral ice and moves into KSU territory. With some speed now is Vanderbilt as he just overskates it and runs himself square into the boards.
Hate it when that happens.
Looking like me when I'm on the ice, Matt.
Oh, yeah. Too real, dude.
Yes, it is. With 10 seconds to go on this man advantage as it goes back down in the KSU zone, but it was touched, so no icing. Thurston plays this one to Berezinski. 5 seconds to go on the power play, and it is cleared once again by KSU, and that will bring us to full-strength hockey.
Back at it once again with the full strength.
Vanderkirkhoff comes off the bench fresh for action, as now Testino has it off the stick of a Commodore and controlled in KSU's zone. Vanderbilt trying to find some offense and punched out of the air by the glove hand of Thurston, and a shot high over the crossbar was Vanderbilt. Berezinski with control, moving up the ice and gives it on back to the Commodores in neutral territory. And we have a stoppage in play. Hand pass.
Okay.
Sure.
I guess so.
13:21 to go in the second period. Some good scoring opportunities for Vanderbilt, but Thurston closes the door on every single one of them.
Absolutely. He's been making these saves look easy thus far today, Andrew. It's going to be difficult to sneak one by him now.
As Vanderbilt wins this faceoff. And now is controlled in neutral territory by Vanderbilt. And pushed up into KSU's zone. Gagne, the lone defenseman, as it's thrown to the opposite end of the ice, and Gagne just runs a man into the boards. And now Vanderbilt throws it up and out of play. Looks like he was targeting me again.
I'm starting to think they're not from around here.
13:04 left to go in the second. McDonald lines up for this faceoff. Ian McDonald waiting for the puck drop. And he wins this one. Davis floors it up into Vanderbilt zone, and that will be an icing as he was just behind the red line.
I don't know about all that.
Puck coming all the way back to KSU zone for another faceoff with 12:58. I'll tell you, these last 6 faceoffs, only like 10 seconds have ran off the clock.
Yeah, it's insanity. It's P90X insanity.
McDonald for another faceoff. And he stands on the puck and loses his footing as Vanderbilt controls in the center of the ice, but not before it's touched away by Van de Kerkhoff. A shot backhanded on goal is sticked away by Luke Thurston. Thrown around the boards now is Vanderbilt. Gagne tries to lay a hit, and he just dances out of the way as now Davis controls and tries to back it over to Van de Kerkhoff, but a long shot off the knee of Davis. Rebound in front. Luke Thurston just goes between his legs and kept alive by Tristan Gagne. Tristan Gagne skates behind his own goaltender and keeps the puck out of the net.
That was one of the most heads-up plays I have ever seen, Andrew. The puck was through Luke Thurston's legs. But Tristan Gagne, the savior of the lead right now, with the heads-up play to prevent that goal. Oh, my
Incredible
goodness.
awareness there by Gagne. He earned that interview.
I have never seen anything like that in my life. Except for that one time the guy from the Penguins did that.
Home team.
Hey.
12:25 on the clock now as Barrett comes in for this faceoff and is won by KSU. Berezinski across the ice to Bright. Bright keeps it in the zone and run into the boards there by a Commodore.
Ooh, some physicality between Kimber and Bright, as well as some choice words, some sentence enhancers, Andrew.
As always, now Vanderbilt has it, and a check by Barnett and sent back into the zone by Bright. Puck leaks out the neutral ice. It's Vanderbilt taking this one, and now Tisdale lobs it up into the glove of Barnett and sticked away by the Commodores. Berezinski moving back, taking control in the trapezoid. Waiting patiently behind Thurston as he makes his move. Berezinski outruns a check there, but is still stripped of the puck by Vanderbilt and put into the boards by Barnett. Vanderbilt behind their own goaltender. Around the boards now for Berezinski, who keeps it in the zone off of some equipment of a Commodore and backhands it to the right side corner. 11:28 to go on the clock as Musgrave comes in to help out. Vanderbilt, left side corner. A long pass up ice is thrown straight into the KSU zone, and that will come back for an icing.
Kennesaw State has not had quite nearly the offensive drive that they've had in these first 4 periods of facing off against the Vanderbilt Commodores. We would like to see that one change here momentarily with 11:17 remaining.
I don't know if it's just overconfidence or just underestimating your opponent, but so far, I mean, it's scoreless, but that's all thanks to Luke Thurston in a tremendous attempt by Tristan Gagne.
Oh, my goodness. Well, and the goal by
Speaking of
McDonald.
Gagne, here he is, a long wrist shot right into the logo of Conor.
Giving a little something to think about, saying, hey, we're still here. We still got your number, buddy.
Gagne with 2 goals himself last game. Looks to extend his point streak tonight.
Oh, yeah, trying to add to that total. If we know never mind. I was about to say, if we know the Kennesaw State players are one thing, it's stats players. They're not.
Spysinski in now on the faceoff. Bright and the Commodore are contesting early. And Vanderbilt wins this faceoff. Puck attempted to be cleared is up to Gagne, and a long wrister is caught by Conor as Hayes give a man a shot at the end of the play for something to think about.
A little something to think about after the play there. Hayes was like, yeah, no, I see you, buddy.
I'm in this too.
You and your red Playmates helmet.
Drew Spysinski in on the faceoff once again. 11:06 to go in the second period, and Spysinski wins this one. Just goes outside of the zone to the stick of Gagne, and now Davis must retreat to play it. Davis up ice attempted for Bright, and it goes just past his stick into the zone.
Had that pass connected, that would have been an absolutely beautiful opportunity for Kennesaw State.
We have a delayed penalty, and it will now be called. And we have a call on, is it Hayes? Yes, that is Max Hayes going to the box, and that will be a fresh 2 minutes for Vanderbilt.
Unfortunate here. Kennesaw State can't keep giving up these penalties. Their penalty kill's good, but is it good enough to fend off a Vanderbilt attack in this second period?
Here's hoping with 10:51 to go on the game clock, the second period, and a fresh 2 minutes on power play.
Absolutely. 2 minutes of pure stress. And
Indeed.
else.
As Ryan Moran comes in to take this face off, wins it. Berezinski attempts to clear, but it's stopped before it can go out of the zone. A slap shot high from the point is stopped in front by the stick of Bright. And now Vanderbilt controls behind Thurston. Vanderbilt in the right side corner, trying to get ridden off the puck there by Bright, and now they control in the left point. Vanderbilt, a wrist shot into the equipment of Thurston, who makes it look easy once again.
Absolutely, and that one was cooking. Good on Thurston to get in front of that one and prevent any hope of a rebound.
And 10:30 to go, Ryan Moran coming in for the face-off, and Moran wins this one. Kicks it on back to Berezinski, and he fires it around the boards in hopes of a clear when it's stopped once again. Long-range slap shot wide left, and now it bounces over to the other side point. Moran coming in the contest, Vanderbilt with control, a centering pass sticked away easily by Luke Thurston. Vanderkirkhoff in with control. Thrown around behind the cage, Berezinski going to be the first man to it, and fires it along around the boards for Brights. Berezinski and a Vanderbilt Commodore it's Bieber again getting caught up. And now Vanderkirkhoff has it, but it's controlled by Vanderbilt. Bouncing puck sent to the corner. Vanderkirkhoff first man to touch it. And it's controlled now by Vanderkirkhoff and Brights. Those two just playing catch in the corner, killing time as there's still a scrum and no one comes up with it. And it is Vanderkirkhoff that fires at the length of the ice to kill some more time. 9:40 to go in the second, 45 seconds to go in the power play, as now Vanderbilt has control behind the goaltender.
And I'll tell you what, normally you want to clear the puck to kill time off of a penalty, but Kennesaw State just possesses the puck in their own zone for a while to kill that time.
If it works, it works. As now Berezinski has it, and he fires at the length of the ice. More time ticking off the clock now as Vanderbilt has it in their own zone. A pass off the glass straight to Berezinski's possession, and he fires it again back into their own zone. 18 seconds to go on the power play, 9:07 to go in the second. Vanderbilt desperately trying to make a push and make use of this man advantage. Vanderbilt moving up ice. It's Davis contesting. Bounces into the KSU zone. A centering pass. A shot on goal is kept out of the net by Berezinski.
I can't believe it. That's twice in this game. And Hayes out of the box looking for
and
a
pass.
pass
In front for Tisdale. A breakaway. A shot
Oh,
just high right over the crossbar was Aaron Tisdale.
Goodness, the heads-up play from Kennesaw State never ends in a delayed penalty.
A penalty on Vanderbilt. I'll tell you, Hayes, fresh out of the box looking to make a play, just sends a rocket over to Tisdale. And Tisdale just misses high right.
He was on that one like a hawk, Hayes was, and managed to find Tisdale all the way across ice, just threaded the needle on that pass. Couldn't quite put it home was Tisdale, but I'll tell you what, quality chances like that, if they keep coming for Kennesaw, they are going to run away with this one.
And you can see Tisdale was a bit frustrated. He turned around, looked right at the camera, and shrugged. He's a little frustrated.
Understandable, that one is certainly frustrating, but Kennesaw State with a man advantage here looking to add to their lead.
Face-off win. Vanderkirkhoff, a high shot off the mask of Konor, and is controlled in the corner by Berezinski. No, it's Spysinski. It's one of the skis. Vanderkirkhoff attempts to throw it back over, but it leaks out of the zone, and Spysinski must retreat. Spysinski to Vanderkirkhoff. Vanderkirkhoff at neutral ice attempts a pass, but it's stuffed, and Vanderkirkhoff controls once again. Vanderkirkhoff waiting patiently behind Thurston. 1:30 to go on the power play, as this time it's McDonald carrying it up the ice. McDonald using that speed, a pass off the boards to himself. Goes up behind the cage. Ian McDonald looking for an angle. A pass across the ice, attempted for Davis, is sent out of the zone. Davis getting shoved against the boards, but still with control. Backhands a pass attempted for McDonald, and it's controlled by Vanderbilt. 1:08 left to go. A bouncing puck put on goal is stopped by Luke Thurston, and now Vanderkirkhoff, that's it. Vanderkirkhoff has the puck and throws it into the zone. Not an icing, as Davis was the first man back. Davis in the corner. Sticks it around behind the goaltender, and it ends up in possession of Spysinski. Spysinski waiting patiently with 45 seconds to go on the man advantage. Gives it up to Davis. A slap shot from Davis off the pads of Konor, and Spysinski goes and gets it. Around the boards now for Vanderkirkhoff. Vanderkirkhoff digs it out, sends it over to Davis. Davis looking for an angle to Vanderkirkhoff. Vanderkirkhoff on the left side point. Around the boards, down to Spysinski. A slap shot from a hard angle goes off Konor once again and is sent back down the length of the ice to kill some time. 18 seconds to go on the power play. 6:54 left to go in the second period as Thurston gives this one to Vanderkirkhoff.
They hurry up here. They might have one more attempt at this, but Vanderbilt looking to prevent that at all costs.
Tisdale still looking to retaliate from that goal. Gives it to Testino. Testino, a shot attempt goes just high right and ends up in the mesh trying to go top shelf on Conor.
Absolutely. Tried going up into the near side and just barely put it outside.
With 2 seconds to go on this man advantage, KSU may have one last power play shot in them with 6:40 to go in the second period.
This one is going to be fun all the way to the end, Andrew. I can already tell.
Aaron Tisdale coming to take this face-off. Vanderbilt wins this one as Moran chases it down. Tisdale and Moran trying to be the men back for it as we are back to full-strength hockey, and Vanderbilt makes the push. Sticked away neatly by Berezinski, but still in control of Vanderbilt as they cannot cross the line yet.
The poke checks from Kennesaw State to disrupt these charges from Vanderbilt have been unbelievable in both of these games, Andrew.
Indeed, as Arnold now has it, a bank pass off the boards deep into the Vanderbilt zone is controlled behind Conor. Arnold coming in. The man thought he was going to get checked and just gave the puck right up to Arnold.
Oh, no.
Vanderbilt moving up ice off the skates of Tisdale, still in their own zone. Red helmet for Vanderbilt, going behind Conor. Turns around, trying to get one over Moran, and eventually does. Vanderbilt pokes it up the ice. Berezinski, the man back. A centering pass attempt is sent a little too far to the corner, and now Vanderbilt will control in KSU zone. A check there from Gagne, puck sent to the middle of the ice, and now Moran tips to the boards. A shot attempt sticked away cleanly by Thurston, and Gagne comes back to play some defense. A pass in front, shot attempt stopped by Luke Thurston, sent to the corner. And now it is a hard check there by Tisdale into the boards, and Vanderbilt still has possession. A shot over is sticked up and into the mesh by Luke Thurston.
Wow. Lot of energy, lot of intensity here in the closing minutes of this second period, Andrew.
And Tisdale didn't let that early penalty rattle him. He's still sending men to the boards.
No, absolutely not. He's going to lay those hits down anytime he's on the ice. You can pretty much take that one to the bank.
5:26 to go in the second period. Score is still the same as when we left it. And now McDonald comes in for this faceoff. Ian McDonald. Vanderbilt wins this one. A long-range shot is turned out in front. Thurston, another rebound save. As now Vanderkirkov has it. Tips it over to Testino. Testino back to Vanderkirkov. Play is onside. Vanderkirkov in the middle of the ice. A shot is poked up in the air and into the mesh for an offensive zone faceoff for KSU. I'll tell you, Thurston on his game, sliding from post to post to make that rebound save.
He is absolutely killing it today. And I'm a big fan, let me tell you. I'm a big fan.
I'm a huge fan, Matt. Huge.
Huge, I agree. Gargantuan fan. Monstrous, monumental fan.
5:10 to go in the second
Humongous
period.
fan.
Sure. Ian McDonald on the faceoff. Vanderbilt wins this one, and it's lofted up back to neutral ice for Bright. Bright tries to send it over to Berezinski, but it's thrown out the glass, and an attempted shot against Sean Bean ends up in the Vanderbilt bench.
He saw that one coming this time, unlike his assassination in Game of Thrones.
Ah,
Well, not
poor guy.
assassination, he just got executed, but
That's not spoilers. That was season 1. If you hadn't seen it by now, you're too far behind.
yeah, sorry about it, guys. Hate to break it to you.
Ian McDonald in his own zone on the faceoff now. 4:56 to go. Vanderbilt takes this one. And now McDonald goes to chase it down. Puck is deflected by some equipment, and it's thrown up into the mesh by Tristan Gagne. McDonald coming in for the faceoff. Vanderbilt takes this one again. They have been lights out on these faceoffs as now it's thrown into the corner for Vanderkirkov. Jeremy Vanderkirkov. Nice move away from a defender. Circles on back into his own zone with 4:35 to go in the period. He gives it on to Davis. Davis a long shot over to the corner and chased down by Testino as Vanderbilt gets to it first. The Commodores throw a pass up into the glove of Vanderkirkov, and he controls it all the way to the corner. Dump pass there for McDonald. And in the center of the ice, Ian McDonald, a backhanded shot from an off angle, goes to the corner for Gagne. Gagne around the boards for Testino, and he's the first man to it. Testino kicks it to himself, throws it back to the corner, and sends it over to McDonald. 4 minutes flat to go. A centering pass for Vanderkirkov is thrown to the corner before a play can be made on it. as now McDonald gives it over to the point for Gagne. Gagne back taps to Vanderkerkhoff. A long wrist shot is off the skates of a Commodore, and Vanderkerkhoff with possession.
I'll tell you what, the Commodores have done a really good job thus far this game of getting in front of shots from Kennesaw State. Very few of them have actually made it to the net.
You think they watched our game film yesterday?
Perhaps.
A corner-to-corner shot to a corner-to-corner pass for Wes Davis is shot into the equipment of Campbell Conor, who had to go post-to-post to make that save. Another good opportunity for KSU.
Yeah, you know, he's got wall-to-wall floors and floor-to-ceiling walls.
Spicinski, and on the face-off, wins it as Haas goes down, Hayes, and now it is Vanderbilt that wraps it around the boards for Bright.
Caught yourself there. I like
I
that.
did. Hey, I like pronouncing my names right.
Join the club, my man.
As now Spicinski throws a shot on goal, sticked away by Conor, and now Vanderbilt will dump it out of the zone, but not before Bright gets a stick on it. Berezinski and Bright playing catch in their own zone, and a pass off the stick of Bright goes into the Vanderbilt zone for Hayes. Hayes gets chucked to the boards now, and now it is Berezinski that throws it down into the zone. Hayes looks like he hit his head on the boards there. Hope he's all right.
Yeah, he looked a little shaken up after that one. Hopefully, he will be able to return.
We're already down a man because of the injury to Evan Deere last game, so let's hope we don't lose any more men.
Yes.
As there was 2:50 to go in the second period, and it's down in Vanderbilt's zone.
I completely agree.
Moran in the corner. Back taps it over for Bright. Bright behind Conor. Gives it on to the point for his brother. Bright has to skate all the way back into his own zone and throws it on over to Berezinski. Berezinski to Bright. Bright with room. Up ice, feathers it on through to Moran, and now Moran touches it back to Bright. Off the boards, back to Moran, and thrown into the Vanderbilt zone. Vanderbilt behind their goaltender. Starts up ice, immediately changes his mind because Tisdale was in his way. Puck sent all the way back into Vanderbilt's zone where they will control in the corner with 2:10 to go in the second period. Vanderbilt, a long pass and a high pass, that is, up into neutral ice where Bright will be the first man to it. Tisdale ends up out of the pile, skating up across the neutral ice zone, and sends a man into the KSU bench.
Oh, my goodness. Every time someone lines up to hit Tisdale, he just hits them instead. It's ridiculous. I love it.
It's one of the funnier things I've seen. Berezinski throws it up to Testino. Testino to Arnold. Leaks out to Tisdale. Tisdale, a centering pass goes through everybody and back into the KSU zone for Berezinski. And Matt, last game there was an example of that. Oh, we have a delayed penalty, by the way. Last game there was an example of that as Tisdale was being lined up for a check by Vanderbilt. And he saw it coming at the last second, lowered his shoulder, and just dropped the man to the ice.
It was like reverse hit stick in Madden. It was incredible.
It was a beautiful thing. It was a work of art. As now there will be a penalty, a slashing call on Yang for Vanderbilt. And that will be 2 minutes of a man advantage for KSU, which will bring us into the third period of action. There is 1:25 left in the second period, a fresh 2-minute penalty. You do the math.
I'll tell you what, there is nothing like starting out a period with a man advantage. Getting those adjustments made with a man advantage is always very nice.
It's like Christmas, Matt, but with more ice.
Sure.
Especially in Georgia. It doesn't snow on Christmas.
No, it doesn't snow.
I'm very
at all,
upset.
basically.
Face-off won by KSU. It's McDonald behind the goaltender, as now Arnold has it on the left side boards. Arnold to Vanderkerkhoff. Fakes a slap shot, throws a wrister instead into the pads of Conor.
Vanderkerkhoff has always been fantastic at picking those shots, so decided against the slap shot, went with a lofting wrister instead, and almost caught everybody off guard, it looked like. Faked out most of the defensemen in front, but not quite enough tomfoolery to slip one by Conor.
Speaking of Vanderkerkhoff, here he is with possession, throws it off the glass to McDonald. McDonald throws it along the boards for Arnold, back to McDonald. McDonald to Vanderkerkhoff. Vanderkerkhoff, a shot off the glass. Almost broke a pane of glass there in the Marietta Ice Center. As now it is Arnold.
What is this, the Georgia Tech home ice where we're breaking panels left and right?
When Deere broke a panel of ice in warm-ups. That was hilarious.
A panel of ice?
Yeah, a pane of glass or a panel of ice.
I mean,
whatever.
It's warm ice. I don't know.
Actually gave us some more time to set up because we were running late, so thank you.
Yeah, that was clutch for sure.
30 seconds to go in the second period with a minute flat to go on the power play as Vanderkerkhoff spins around at the high point. A pass over, up off the stick of Arnold and into the mesh.
That one was a hard pass. That would have been difficult to corral for sure.
Add some steam on it.
A little bit.
Add some steam, some salt, maybe some pepper.
Maybe a little paprika.
Maybe to
a little
cook.
bit of oregano. Get some Italian flavoring
Maybe
in this piece.
cook it to medium
Some-
well. Serve it
some
on a bun.
Minced garlic. I don't know, man. You do the math. Some crushed black pepper. Some pink Himalayan salt.
Matt, I only had one thing to eat today. I am very hungry. All
I'm
right,
very hungry as well.
you're just doing this to ourselves now.
I know.
19
He made a paella.
19.2 in the second period as Spysinski loses this face-off to Vanderbilt, but it's controlled by Gagne in the zone. A wrist shot almost deflected by Spysinski, as now it's controlled behind Konur by Vanderbilt. Testino harassing him behind the goaltender as the puck leaks out to Gagne. 2 seconds to go, and a shot put in front. Almost a rebound attempt, but just not enough time.
Very close, and some good opportunities to close the period there for Kennesaw State. They'll have 35 seconds of a man advantage at the end of the second period, which means 35 seconds of good, delicious, my goodness, Andrew, of delightful power play action. It goes down crispy and clean.
I'm
every
going to
time.
just let you take this.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in this Saturday afternoon. We will be back momentarily with the third and final period of action of the 6 that we've put on the schedule here between Kennesaw State Fighting Owls and the Vanderbilt Commodores. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, everyone, after what seems like very, very long intermission, to the third period of play between your Kennesaw State Fighting Owls and the Vanderbilt Commodores.
I bet I knew what the problem was. That water looked a little wet out there, Matt.
That water's looking a little wet.
Water's looking a little wet down there.
On the wet side. Hate it when that happens. Hate when my water's wet.
Ah, right. Just gets everywhere.
Being water.
And wet.
Being all wet. And watery. And wet.
Anyway, 20 minutes left to go in the third period. Fresh period of action for both teams. Score is still 1-0, but KSU has the man advantage from last period with 35 seconds left on their power play. Vanderbilt wins the opening face-off and immediately puts it off the glass to the stick of Wes Davis.
I'll tell you one thing Vanderbilt has significantly improved on in this game over the last is face-off wins.
They've won a good majority of them as it's circled around a Testino and eventually McDonald. It's Testino down behind the net and a point-blank shot tipped up and in. That is Mitchell Bright. What is that? 21 seconds into the period with the man advantage. Mitchell Bright makes this a 2-goal game off of the assist from, that was McDonald, right?
I believe so. That was right off the bat. Kennesaw State had a game plan. They came out and they executed instantly. Wow. That's going to be a difficult hill to climb for Vanderbilt now that they're down 2 goals in the last period of play, Andrew.
Absolutely, as Vanderbilt wins the faceoff once again, and a long shot is put past Thurston.
They're giving that goal to Bright, assisted by Testino.
All right. Puck is sent down the length of the ice, but on goal, so there will be no icing, as Vanderbilt controls this one in their own zone. Gagne at the blue line sends it straight back in, but not before it be controlled by a Vanderbilt Commodore, as they play with it in their own zone. Vanderbilt in neutralized territory moves into KSU zone, a pass to the left circle, or a shot off the glove hand of Luke Thurston, and around the boards back to the point. A shot deflected early, just moves past the left post, and now Davis has it in the corner. Moran off the glass, back to neutral ice for Vanderbilt, and it's put up into the midst of Aaron Tisdale, who scoots it along to Arnold. Arnold up back into the Vanderbilt zone and cannot control it before it exits the zone right away, and now Vanderbilt is pushing quickly. A shot off the chest of Thurston, then elbowed out of the air, and goes back to the corner and collected by Arnold.
Sounded like that one actually hit him in the mask, Andrew.
Way to use your head. Point-blank shot is shrugged off by Thurston once again as the puck goes back and out of the zone, so Vanderbilt must retreat. Vanderbilt moved from the left side in the KSU zone, stripped of the puck there, and fired back to neutral ice. But no, it cannot be cleared yet, and now it is Barnett that comes out of the pack with it, but not before it's sticked on back into KSU zone for Berezinski and eventually Gagne. Gagne behind Thurston. Up the ice to Barnett. Barnett backhands it over to Musgrave. Musgrave into the zone. Dodges a check, makes a man spin and fall, and Musgrave sends it all the way into the trapezoid. Will be collected by Barrett. Barrett digs it out and throws it up to Berezinski, who waits patiently and now has it in the middle of the ice and loses control to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt knocks it over to the stick of Brights, and then to Barnett, who blasts it on back in. Puck sent flying through the air back to Luke Thurston, and eventually no icing. Berezinski now in KSU's own corner. A long pass is off the shins of Barrett, and a shot off of a turnover is punched up and out of the air by Luke Thurston, as now Vanderbilt has it in KSU's zone.
That was a wide-open look for Vanderbilt, and it just didn't look like there was a whole lot of effort that went into that shot.
Yeah, his head's out of the game.
Hate when that happens.
Right. 17-10 left to go in the third. Score is 2-0 off of that early goal by Mitchell Bright and the assist by Testino.
Tell you what, second period was just lackluster in every way compared to the first. The third has what could be a go-ahead goal here for Kennesaw State. However, it looks like there may be less chippiness than there was in the first period and all of last game, which is a bummer.
Yeah, they might have worked out all their issues in the locker room or on the ice early, as a shot by Hayes is caught by Konor. KSU in the offensive zone now. It's Spicinski on the faceoff. Vanderbilt takes this one and sends it up the glass, and a weird bounce sends it back to KSU zone, but on goal, so no icing. Shifted out there by Thurston over to the stick of Davis, and a long pass tipped by Haas, again on goal. Goes from Hayes, goes from goal mouth to goal mouth, and now it is Vanderbilt who turns it over to Wes Davis. Davis, a pass attempted for Hayes, is sticked away before it can be made a play on, and now it's around the boards for Bright. Bright, a centering pass through everybody, and Gagne can't keep it in the zone. Actually, he can, excuse me. Using the old mitts, as now Berezinski has it in the corner. Berezinski floats it on down to Bright, who throws it off the outside of the cage to Spicinski, and Hayes comes in to lend a hand. Hayes, looking to disrupt as Spicinski takes a check, and now Vanderbilt moves up the ice to neutral territory. Vanderbilt into KSU zone. A hard wrist shot is caught cleanly by Luke Thurston for another faceoff in KSU zone. 16:06 to go in the third. Score 2-0, and Thurston making it look easy as always. Ian McDonald coming in for this faceoff. Puck is dropped, and it is won over to Vanderkerkhoff. Vanderkerkhoff over the blue line, dumping chase over to McDonald. And Vanderbilt gets there first, but not before it's kicked away by Vanderkerkhoff. A turnover in Vanderbilt's zone is almost capitalized on. Now it's to McDonald, who didn't get everything on that shot. A backhander up off the shoulder of Conor and caught out of the air. And that shot was by Testino.
Puck bouncing along there. A little bit of traffic in front. Conor, it seems like he had the wherewithal to grab that one right up out of the air.
And now McDonald comes in for the faceoff again. And Vanderbilt takes this one, but McDonald steps through and gathers it. McDonald in the corner. Kicks it over to his friend Testino, and now it's behind the net for Vanderbilt. Vanderkerkhoff rides a man into the boards, and now it is Bright who throws it on back to Vanderkerkhoff, and that will be an offsides.
Oh, man.
$15:29 to go with a neutral faceoff towards the KSU end of the ice, with fresh legs for both teams coming on.
Tell you what, it seems like about 5:20 is our cutoff for interesting, fun commentary as we both succumb further to sickness.
Yeah, we are not up to par today as we are both being destroyed by some sort of cold, but we're fighting our way through it. A shot put on goal was gloved out of the air by Thurston and ripped out for possession of a Vanderbilt Commodore before he can take a slap shot. Berezinski in his own corner. Waiting patiently behind Thurston, gives it up to Bright. Bright banks it off the boards and controlled by Moran. Moran backhands it across ice, attempted for Arnold, but Vanderbilt gets there first. Tisdale waiting at the blue line, so it's not an offsides. Now Bright has it and scoots it up to Moran, who crosses the blue line into the zone. Moran going right. A centering pass for Arnold is sticked wide, and now Tisdale has it behind the net. A pass in front is moved aside by Conor, and now Vanderbilt makes their push. Vanderbilt into KSU territory. Harassed by Berezinski. A centering pass is poked out of there by Thurston and sent out of the zone.
Wow, well done there by Thurston to get it all the way out into neutral ice.
Butler coming in. Forechecking now as he runs in to harass a little bit, and Vanderbilt with possession, and a check into the boards there by Butler, and now it's over to Gagne. Gagne. Bank pass all the way up for Butler, and it bounces over two sticks and into the corner. Conor comes out of his net to play it, and wraps it around the length of the boards, where Barrett tries to make a play on it, but cannot. Vanderbilt comes up. Butler wraps a man's stick up and takes a hard open ice check down to the ice. And now Barnett comes in to say something. Thurston guides the puck over to the stick of Gagne. And now Gagne throws it around the boards for Barnett.
Put everything I said about that boring period on hold, Andrew. My goodness, that was quite a hit, and it seems to have ratcheted the tensions up once again.
Barrett takes a check, stays on his skates. Davis cannot play it cleanly as now Barnett is in the corner. Barnett getting harassed now, kicks it on over. A good move there, but it's stolen by Vanderbilt and thrown back to KSU's zone, and that will be an icing. 13:26 to go in the third period. 2-0, still KSU's ball game, as it is coming back down for another faceoff. Drew Spicinski coming in fresh from the bench, trying to win this face-off. Vanderbilt having some line change issues as they tried to make a change before the icing, and that did not happen fast enough. Spicinski loses this face-off to Vanderbilt, and it's wrapped around the boards and controlled by Gagne. Gagne up the boards to Hayes, and to Spicinski back to Hayes. Hayes, an off-angle shot goes around the boards and collected by Spicinski in neutral territory. Spicinski moving over the face-off circle, a long shot put on goal and caught by Conor.
Ooh.
And Blay takes a shot at Spicinski with his stick after the play, and the ref is coming over to say something.
Oh, and that's going to be a penalty on Blay for that dirty shot with the stick afterwards. Get in the box. Nobody's going to even help you on that one. You did it to yourself. Congratulations, you played yourself.
And now Spicinski has something to say,
on.
and gives a little face wash to Red Helmet there for Vanderbilt, and now we will have offsetting penalties and some 4-on-4 hockey.
Good old 4-on-4 hockey trying to ratchet the tensions up once again. Ooh, baby.
I'll tell you, I'll bet that slash on Spicinski, I'll bet that wasn't out of the blue. He was probably chirping with him the whole period. 13:05 with some action finally happening now, and offsetting penalties, so 4-on-4 hockey for 2 minutes.
Yes, indeed, and the face-off will happen in Kennesaw territory.
Wes Davis coming over, giving some high fives to some fans. What a
Absolutely.
good guy that he is. Right now, the line Kennesaw is putting out is Gagne, Davis, McDonald, and Vanderkerkhoff.
Ooh, that's a formidable line, if I do say so myself.
Face-off won by Vanderbilt and skated on over to Vanderkerkhoff, and now it's controlled in the corner and given over to Gagne. Gagne at the point. There's a wrist shot deflected by McDonald and stopped by Conor, and it's not frozen yet as it just squirts out behind him, and now Gagne gives it over to Vanderkerkhoff. Vanderkerkhoff, center ice, a shot is stopped by Conor, who had to fall on the rebound before it can be taken by Davis.
Wow, absolutely fantastic opportunities for Kennesaw State here early in this 4-on-4 situation, and they will get another offensive zone faceoff once again.
McDonald handling this one, wins it to Vanderkerkhoff, but Vanderbilt steps through and takes control. Vanderbilt, with 1:30 to go in 4-on-4, pushes up ice into KSU territory, loses an edge, and face plants into the wall.
Gotta love it when that happens.
And now it's Vanderkerkhoff looking for the puck, but it goes the opposite way. It's controlled by Vanderbilt to Red Helmet, who was chirping with Spicinski, and now he's at the left side point.
And then he fans on a pass. Nice move, dude.
Up the boards now, over to Vanderkerkhoff, and now we have a 3-on-1 developing. Vanderkerkhoff, a pass in front, just behind Wes Davis, as that would have been a good opportunity, and now we have a 2-on-1 unless Davis can get back. And he does, and neatly with a poke check from behind, stops that break from developing.
Wow, absolutely fantastic defensive efforts here from Kennesaw State. Getting in there and poking these pucks away has been their MO for the past 2 games now.
Now pass to McDonald, put on goal, block at her side there by Conor with 45 seconds to go in 4-on-4. Giving on back to Vanderkerkhoff. Vanderkerkhoff, a shot, goes into the breadbasket of Conor. And that will be another face-off. 42 seconds to go, 11:46 in the third period. Score the same, 2-0. And KSU and Vanderbilt getting some fresh legs on the ice.
Oh, absolutely. It looks like they're having some words with each other's benches. Oh, I am all about it. The coach is getting involved.
All about it.
The coach of theirs he was getting involved with. I believe it's Evan Deere, who unfortunately had to leave last game due to an injury. Is just hanging out in the penalty box, John, with the opposing coach. This is hilarious, actually.
It is. He's still getting in his head even though he can't play today.
This is amazing. I love it.
Now it's Bright back in his own zone. Gives it over to Berezinski, back over to Bright. Bright around the boards, throws it up ice to Arnold. Arnold loses the puck, but it's controlled by Bright. Bright takes a check in the open ice, and it bounces back to Berezinski with 10 seconds to go in 4-on-4 hockey before I have a feeling things are going to happen once Spicinski gets out of the box.
I could not agree more, and I'm looking forward to every second of it. As the 4-on-4 expires with 11 minutes remaining. In this final period, it is full-strength 5-on-5 hockey.
And here comes Spicinski out of the box and throws it right off the shins of a Vanderbilt Commodore, and now Vanderbilt takes it the other way. Vanderbilt crossing the blue line of the KSU's ends of the ice and puts a shot that bounces straight past Thurston. And Thurston was spun around there by a Commodore, and now it's Arnold that goes up the ice and
Oh!
takes a cheap shot there.
Oh.
And Arnold goes down as he was making a play for the puck.
And he's going to get ejected from the game. Hopefully Arnold is all right.
And Kimber just was headhunting Arnold there as he hit him just like shoulders, head, upper body, and everything.
That
just
was
sent
one
him
of the
down.
dirtiest hits I have seen in a long time. He needs to get out of here, be removed from this game, and hopefully, is he just getting sent to the penalty box? No, he needs to be ejected from the game. Yeah, there he goes. He's ejected from the game as Arnold's still on the ice. And one of the dirtiest hits we've seen here at the Marietta Ice Center, hopefully. Arnold is all right. He is up onto his knees now. And obviously shaken up after that incredibly dirty cheap shot from Vanderbilt.
And he's ejected, and that will be a 5-minute major assessed to number 29, Kimber, on Vanderbilt, and that will bring us down to the 5-minute mark in the third period.
Absolutely, and Arnold skates off under his own power, but obviously shaken up. I don't think we're going to see him return, Andrew.
No reason for it. I mean, we're up 2-0 with a 5-minute major on the horizon, so I don't think there's any reason to send him back on the ice.
I could not agree more.
But now KSU's bench is stirring, and we will see if there is any action after that disastrous
Kennesaw
hit.
State gonna be. You can bet that they're gonna be looking for blood on this one, Andrew.
Look, I think Tisdale might come off the bench just with boxing gloves on.
I
We'll
would
see
not
what
even be
happens.
surprised at this point. He doesn't even have a stick, just boxing gloves.
Boxing gloves and running shoes. We'll see what
Gonna
happens.
chase everybody down and
Yeah.
beat the crap out of them.
Spysinski coming in on the faceoff. It's going to be 5-on-4 for 5 minutes in KSU's favor. And the faceoff is won off of the knees of McDonald and sent back down to KSU's zone.
I'll tell you what, it's a good thing Kimber did get ejected, because had he not been, you can better believe somebody would have taken his head off in these coming minutes.
Yes, they would have, as Vanderkerkhoff moves up the ice steadily, but it's batted back into neutral ice territory for Davis to retreat and play it. 10:15 left to go in the third period, 4:36 left to go in the 5-minute major, and it is sent around the boards for Ian McDonald. McDonald up across the blue line for Bright. Bright pushes into the Vanderbilt territory, and back to Vanderkerkhoff, who sends it around the boards for Spysinski. Spysinski behind Konor, back to McDonald. McDonald to the point for Vanderkerkhoff, puts a wrist shot on goal, and it's stopped by Konor and chased down by McDonald, who cannot save it in time.
Almost, though, and I'll tell you what, Andrew, there's nothing I would love more than to run up the score on this team right now.
That would be nice after all the bad blood between these two, and Vanderbilt not taking it lightly. As speaking of Vanderbilt, gets mugged in the corner there, and we will have a penalty on KSU with some action from Spysinski.
You knew there was going to be some retaliation, and I believe that's just going to be a taste of the retaliation from Kennesaw State University. And is Spysinski gone? Spysinski is gone.
Spysinski gets tossed from the game, and we will see how this penalty plays out.
I don't know if he should have been tossed for that hit, though.
I don't know. That will only be a 2-minute penalty, though. He's getting tossed for retaliation. So it will be 4-on-4 hockey for 2 minutes and 2 seconds before KSU has the man advantage once again.
Absolutely. Just taking a chunk out of the 5-minute major.
.9:40 to go in the third period. Things are heating up here, and we will see how this plays out.
Yes, indeed.
Aaron Tisdale off the bench in the face-off, so expect to see some heads to start rolling
Ooh, I can't wait.
as he comes to take this one. Puck drops, and it's won by Vanderbilt, and a slap shot by Red Helmet put on goal and caught by Luke Thurston.
That was a pretty weak shot, I will say.
He's checking his stick. Yeah, it's not the equipment, bud. It's not the equipment. Tisdale takes his face off up to Testino. Testino stops on a dime and moves back into neutralized territory.
Good moves from Testino there. That was beautiful.
Gives it over to Gagne. Gagne moves up the boards, dodges a check neatly,
Wow.
and gives it over to Testino. Testino in the corner. Controlled by Vanderbilt once again as Tisdale rides a man to the boards, and now it is Gagne that goes back and gets it, and we will have a penalty on Aaron Tisdale.
I don't know about that.
That wasn't a penalty. He's done worse and gotten away with it.
See, I really don't know about that. Yeah, that feels like a retaliatory call.
And now, Vanderbilt will have the man advantage, one man advantage for a minute 36, and then we'll be back to 4-on-4 hockey, and we will still have some time to kill off of this 5-minute major.
I have a deer yelling at the referee. This is amazing.
What are they going to do, put a penalty on him?
Oh, come on. What is this?
Well, that's just a placeholder in the box.
4?
The first penalty. Since Spy got ejected, we didn't have a guy in the box.
This is dumb.
So now it is.
I protest.
I do too, as McDonald comes in for this faceoff, wins it, and goes over to the stick of Gagne, and Vanderbilt still has the man advantage. Thrown back over into the Vanderbilt zone and stopped by Conor, and now it is controlled by Vanderbilt. 1:21 left to go on the man advantage for Vanderbilt, as now Davis comes over to play some defense. Vanderbilt on the left side point moves down to the corner. Still playing with it. Goes and wraps around behind Thurston, puts a centering pass up to Yang, and Yang rips one, and it goes under the leg of Luke Thurston, and he just sits on it.
He's just going to trap it there. Why not? Good move there from Thurston to prevent a lead having goal. I was trying to think of a better way to describe that one. You know what? Shut up.
8:42 left to go in the third period. 1:02 left to go on the man advantage. And this time it is Vanderkirkhoff on the face-off. Attempted clear, stopped by a skate, and thrown on over to the right side. Vanderbilt up at the high point. Sticked away there by Vanderkirkhoff and chased down, but he cannot make a play on it. 45 seconds to go on this man advantage. The puck goes behind Luke Thurston. And it is kicked out by Berezinski, and Gagne lends a hand. Gagne comes over, backhands it high up in the air and out of the zone. And now it's controlled by Vanderbilt with some time killed off.
I'll tell you what, that was a good clear there from Gagne, lofting it over everybody, but keeping it just low enough to not hit the rafters of the ice center.
Oh! And a man falls over top of Luke Thurston. And hope he's all right. And now Vanderkirkhoff has it in the corner, gives it on over for a scrum between one Owl and two Commodores. It is Berezinski. Puck leaks out to Vanderkirkhoff, and he backhands it high into the Vanderbilt zone and is stopped and played by Conor.
Well done by was Berezinski there to get the puck out from between three people and send a pass across ice for the clear.
Absolutely, as the first penalty expires, so now we have 4-on-4 hockey for 15 seconds. Puck leaks out to McDonald, cannot make a play on it in time. He goes over, does his best, and shields a man off to get possession. Berezinski now gives it on back to Bright. 5 seconds to go on the second penalty, and then KSU will be up a man once again. Penalty has expired. There is 1:35 to go on this 5-minute major. Bright on his own side of the ice for McDonald. McDonald off the boards to Testino. Testino attempted for McDonald, but off of his skate, and now Vanderbilt has it with the ref in the way. Vanderbilt down the ice. Over to the waiting stick of Luke Thurston with 1:20 to go on the man advantage. Thurston hands off to Bright. Bright up the ice to Davis. Davis can't play it cleanly, and we have an icing.
That one's coming all the way back down, unfortunately.
6:51 to go in the period. 1:13 on the man advantage for KSU with a face-off right in Thurston's backyard.
That would probably be his front yard, right?
Fine.
He's got to mow that.
Fine.
Keep it nice for the
mow
homeowner.
it. Mow the ice.
Gotta keep
We
it-
did that against Trine. We mowed the ice.
You're absolutely right. Got to keep it nice for the homeowners association.
McDonald comes up over the blue line, using that quickness around the right side of the circle, stops on a dime, turns around, and waits in the trapezoid before giving it to Davis. Slap shot from Davis, hits his pads, and now Bright tries to get a rebound, and some players on Vanderbilt do not take that too kindly.
I'll tell you what. Every time it seems like there's a stoppage in front of the net, there is going to be some extracurricular activity. It is fantastic to watch.
Vanderkirkhoff and someone having words over there. And usually there was a Bright brother involved, the way this series has been going.
Still, John. They are There's no love lost between these two teams, let me tell you.
Absolutely. As an attempted clear goes off the back of the referee, and it's sent over to the center of the ice and slapped all the way down to the waiting stick of Thurston with 45 seconds to go in the 5-minute major. 6:20 to go in the third period as Davis waits patiently behind Thurston before making his push. Davis up the ice in the neutral territory and skates on into the Vanderbilt zone. Davis back taps it for Bright. Bright shields a man off to give it to McDonald, and McDonald throws it all the way over to the waiting stick of Vanderkerkhoff. A backhander by Vanderkerkhoff is stopped and held by Conor.
Kennesaw State, 22 seconds remaining. If they want to make something happen and extend this lead, now is almost certainly going to be the time to do it.
McDonald coming over to take this face off. And Vanderbilt take this one, not before Bright steps through and takes it himself. A shot attempt by Testino is stopped by a leg, and now Davis with a foot race down the ice, and Thurston sends it to the boards for Testino. Testino moving up ice, gives it to Vanderkerkhoff. Meisel will move inside, but there's just too many Commodores in the way and cannot make a play on it. A check to the boards by Jeremy Vanderkerkhoff, and it's controlled by Vanderbilt. Power play expires, and we are back to full-strength hockey with 5:30 to go in the third period. And now McDonald is in the corner. Puck's in up to the left side point. A shot on goal. And it is turned aside by Luke Thurston, and now Vanderbilt has it on the right boards. Hayes coming in and disrupt. A shot put on goal again. It is stopped by Luke Thurston and kept out of the net by Ian McDonald and Wes Davis. A puck lobbed all the way ahead to Hayes. Hayes, it's 1-on-2. Throws a shot high and controlled by Conor.
Ooh, very good opportunity there for Max Hayes. Defenders just a little too quick to get back. Otherwise, he would have buried that one. I got to be honest, Andrew, on that save from Thurston with the net sort of wide open on the far side of the ice. In order to say, oh my goodness, into the microphone, I put the microphone up to my face so fast I hit myself in the tooth.
Are you all right? Do you think you would dent this after this?
No, I'm fine. It was just like I bumped it and it did not feel nice.
Knock your own teeth out with your microphone. And hockey's a blood sport.
I got to look like I play hockey.
Gagne around the boards for Moran. And Moran sends it to the middle of the ice, attempted for Hayes, but stopped by a pair of skates. And now Tisdale takes it. Tisdale up ice, but the shot on goal, kick save by Conor. And it's sent back to the waiting stick of Gagne at neutral ice.
Good opportunity there from Tisdale.
Puck blasted all the way around the boards with some steam on it and an awkward bounce over to Moran. And he plays to the boards. Moran, a backhanded pass attempted for Hayes. Hayes comes in and lays down on the puck and kicks it over to the corner. Hayes takes a tumble, but not before giving it to Tisdale. And Tisdale takes a check and turns it over to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, a neutral ice, played by Bright. But Vanderbilt comes up with it, making a push down the ice himself.
Nice poke.
And poke check there by Gagne. Moran tripped up and sent into the waiting stick of Luke Thurston. And now it's controlled in the corner by Kennesaw. Caught in the middle of the ice, and a shot put on goal is stopped cleanly by Luke Thurston once again. He is playing out of his mind tonight.
Wow. Luke Thurston has been on his game these past couple of days that we've seen him. And oh my goodness, it's a good one. It's fun.
4:03 to go in the third period. Scores still 2-0 thanks to the goals from McDonald and Bright. Barrett comes in for the face-off and wins it, and it goes back to the stick of Davis. Davis comes over and lobs it all the way back in to Vanderbilt's zone. Musgrave couldn't get there in time, so we will have an icing, and that face-off's coming all the way back with 3:50 to go in the game.
3:50 to go, Andrew. It's all over, but the crying. All we can hope for now is that Luke Thurston's goaltending remains steadfast.
I believe it can. He's Luke Thurston, man.
Listen, I understand.
You doubt this man?
He's unbelievable. No,
Thurston?
I never doubt Luke Thurston. Trust me.
Never doubt Luke
I made that mistake once, and I ended up in the gulag. It's even colder there, believe it or not.
Barrett coming in on the face-off. It's won by Vanderbilt. And a shot put wide of the cage is collected by Barnett. Barnett to Davis. Davis lobs it up to Musgrave and is controlled by Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt at neutral ice gives it up to Musgrave, and he back-taps it in to Berezinski in KSU's zone. Berezinski stops on a dime behind Luke Thurston and makes his push up ice. A pass over to the center of ice is turned aside by a Vanderbilt stick and into the waiting Wes Davis. Davis can't control it, and it's controlled by Vanderbilt, who pushes back into the KSU zone. And a lazy shot attempt is turned aside behind the cage. Vanderbilt in the trapezoid behind Luke Thurston's net. Tries to do a wraparound goal and is stopped by the post and the skate of Luke Thurston.
He said, "What do you think this is? Do you think I was born yesterday?" Whoopsie.
You okay, Matt?
I was slacking a bit there. I let the camera run out.
Ooh, well, we're back online.
No, we were never offline. We just never, let our camera feed decay a little bit.
McDonald comes in for this faceoff. Vanderbilt wins it, and it's back to the high point. A shot in front is turned aside by Bright and eventually set to the right side wing. Bright in his own corner. Throws it around the boards, and now Vanderbilt has it. A shot turned aside by Thurston. Rebound attempt is stuffed by Ian McDonald, and now McDonald skates it over to the boards. A centering pass is turned aside and collected by Vanderkerkhoff as he pushes over the blue line. Vanderkerkhoff dumps it into the Vanderbilt zone, and it goes around where he'll try to fight for it with Bright. Goes to the stick of McDonald on the right side circle. A pass all the way to Vanderkerkhoff is put into the waiting arms of Campbell Conor.
And we have a timeout called by Vanderbilt.
I haven't seen one of those in a while.
Yeah, that's just interesting.
This timeout brought to you by Sean Bean on the Vanderbilt bench over there.
Sean Bean for all your Sean Bean needs.
Just call Sean Bean. I don't know.
188 Bean.
He left out a few numbers.
Call 1 Bean.
1 Bean.
And that's it. The Kennesaw State bench looking pretty casual over there. They know the position they're in. They know they're inside of Vanderbilt's heads, all the way climbing inside.
They're just deciding where they want to go eat after the game.
They're like, yo, you guys want to go with Matt and Andrew to get some Jersey Mikes? You guys are invited.
Matt, you gave away our sandwich plans.
Dude, I'll give away our sandwich plans to anybody that wants to drop by.
Sure. Timeout expires, and now both teams make their way back to the face-off circle. And Ian McDonald lines up to take this one. McDonald in the face-off circle himself. Ref taking a sweet time to drop the puck, and McDonald wins this one. Bright, early slap shot off the skates of Conor, and is controlled by Vanderkerkhoff. Vanderkerkhoff to Testino, a shot put right on goal, and is not frozen, and rebound attempts are stopped by the butt of Conor.
Wow, what absolutely fantastic opportunities once again for Kennesaw State, managing to regain this offensive possession that they've had for most of last game.
Checked by Testino, and the puck is put over to the stick of Vanderkerkhoff, who dips his way into the zone. Puck is put up in the air and onto the stick of Bright back in his own zone with 2 minutes to go in the game. Puck's it over to Ian McDonald. He flies it on back into the zone off the back of the cage and the boards. Testino with a wraparound attempt pass is stuffed by a stick of Commodore.
That was a great dump there by McDonald.
It was, as Vanderbilt comes over with a push of their own in the neutral territory back into KSU's zone. Vanderbilt moves in. A shot on Thurston is stopped easily. But what else do you expect from them?
Yeah, they can't get a single goal past Luke Thurston. If Luke Thurston manages to close this one out with 1 minute and 37 seconds remaining in this third period, he will have, in the last 4 games, rather, I guess if you count the Trine game.
Yeah.
You will have allowed 0 goals, while Kennesaw State has managed to score
a lot of goals.
What is that, 18?
A lot of goals.
18 goals, I believe, in the last 4 games?
2 today, 10 against Florida, 1 against Trine.
And then 5 yesterday.
And then 5 yesterday. It's a lot of goals.
That's an awful lot of goals.
18 goals, unless the score changes. Turnover for Hayes, and Hayes just misses the empty net as Conor went to the bench. Vanderbilt with the extra attacker. The puck is in the corner now between. What's up?
Pretty bad time to bring on an extra attacker.
Yeah, when they're in your own zone. And now Vanderbilt comes away with it. Vanderbilt moving up ice in neutral territory. Berezinski is the man back. 1 minute to go in the game. A shot is put high over the net and into the right side corner. Vanderbilt still in the corner, fighting with Bright. Lays down on top of the puck. No, he's just down. He got hurt on that play. Vanderbilt player is down as the puck goes underneath him. He better watch out. 35 seconds to go in the game. A scrum in the corner. The puck leaks out to, that is Berezinski, who throws a slap shot down into neutralized territory. 25 seconds to go in the game. Vanderbilt on the blue line, and they wrap it around to Luke Thurston. And Thurston gives it over to Davis. Davis, a high clear just left of the net. Davis tried to go for the full court shot and just missed a bit left.
I'll tell you what, that's going to fall one of these days. I want to see Luke Thurston send one all the way
If
down.
Luke Thurston scores, I will buy him a shirt.
That would have been fantastic. We're already probably going to buy Gagne's shirt, because if you didn't notice
GK was absolute gold last interview.
that interview, he's a big cheese man.
Big cheese man.
Big
Tristan
cheese
Gagne.
man. Big cheese man.
Ian McDonald coming over, along with Vanderkerkhoff, Bright, Testino, and the big cheese man himself. And an early shot put on goal is stopped by a stick before it can reach Conor. Vanderbilt, with 5 seconds to go in the game, Bright controls it in the boards, and that will be the ball game. Luke Thurston records his 4th shutout in a row. KSU scores 18 goals in their last 4 games, with 2 tonight. Goals by Ian McDonald, assisted by Vanderkerkhoff and Wes Davis, and the second goal by Mitchell Bright, assisted by Testino.
Kennesaw State University taking home the victory, and that always feels good no matter how dirty the other team plays. All we can hope for now is that the Kennesaw State players who were injured during this series, Evan Deere and Isaiah Arnold, yes. Hopefully they manage to find their way back to the ice as soon as possible, because we're going to need them for the upcoming games. But that being said, thank you guys for tuning in to the 2-game series between Kennesaw State's Fighting Owls and the Vanderbilt Commodores. We appreciate it.
And we'll be back next weekend for a 2-game series against Alabama Huntsville.
Alabama Huntsville. I don't know much about them.
Well, my research.
Yeah, absolutely. But thank everyone for watching. We'll be back next week. Super Gamecast Bros, same time, same place. The beautiful Marietta Ice Center. Thank you guys for watching. And have a good rest of the day.